Ta-da, ta-da. Now I'm live in 2 places at once. Wow, YouTube's live is really big. Let me make it smaller. Oh, snap. I'm here, baby. Okay, this is good. This is good. This is good. Hello. Hi, guys. I know Facebook will be way more lit. I actually went live on my YouTube for once. This is a scary yet exhilarating experience. Hey, what's up, Alchemy of Life? This is my first live on YouTube, so you're the first one to see it. Hello, Craig on Facebook. What up, cuz? It's nice to see you, girl. Girl, we're going to talk about some magical shit tonight. So I hope you guys are ready. Sorry this is so late. I did schedule it for around 7 or 8. I'm good. I did schedule it for around 7 or 8, and it ended up being a lot later than I had anticipated. So please excuse that. Let me move this over so I can see the chat here, actually. Okay, cool. So I did a lot of research today. And, okay, well, Craig, just send me a message after this, and we can set up an appointment for a, an intuitive reading, a card reading, whatever, something like that for you, okay? I look so bad on Facebook. I got like a double chin. I got like a shadow going on. Like there's some weird shit happening here. Anyway, I'm not gonna. There's a fan on, but it's not loud. There's nothing else on though. Yeah. This is sitting on top of my laptop, so it could be the fan's actually in the laptop. All right, so thanks. Anyway, that was weird. Craig, I just want to let you know that I'm really not with the fuck shit. So if you're thinking like getting a reading would get you a date, like that's not gonna work at all. Like I have a boyfriend and I'm happy with him, and you can leave the stream if you really think that I'm about that life, because I'm not. Okay, guys, so let's get into the topic tonight. So the topic tonight is something that I researched for a lot of the day today. We're going to be talking about intuition, melanin, and your psychic abilities. Now, this really came up. That's okay. I am psychic. We're all psychic, sweetheart. This is really weird having. Okay, great. So then message me after and I can help you. All right. So I'm going to just get into the topic. I don't really want to get into the chat so much. Yo, the bird boxing shit is real. Yeah, the prosperity thing is real. For me, that's really been phenomenal. But the people are bird boxing. It's kind of weird. Anyway, so how this all started was that I was writing a blog post and I had an idea about your intuition. And intuition is very, very similar to being clairsentient. Samantha, I don't really care. Anyway, intuition is very similar to being clairsentient. Now, clairsentience is clear feeling, and it's sort of the hallmark or the center of being a psychic. Now, everybody's a psychic to some degree. When you have those moments that you are thinking of someone, don't worry about it. My girl's here, so if you guys hear her in the background, she's just chilling. So when you have those moments that you are thinking of someone and then you call them or they call you, or it might not even be that. You might be walking down the street and you're like, I wonder how such and such is doing. And then they just like pop up at the grocery store and you're like, what the fuck? So all that stuff is really your latent psychic abilities. It's just that, or when you have a really bad feeling and you can't figure out why, that also is your latent psychic abilities coming online. So it's little things like that. Now, you have to come, in order to start to hone and tune those skills, there are a couple, it's a very involved process. Meditation is the foundation, which is why in my master class, the first week, we're actually going to be teaching, we're actually going to be teaching meditation. Meditation is the first week. And oh my God, hold on guys. I have to block a Christian. I don't know what's going on. All right, great. He got blocked. I don't know what's going on, but people are acting real crazy right now, and I'm like not having it. So what ends up happening is that you start recognizing that there are certain psychic abilities you have that begin to come online. And the problem with today, like in ancient times, for example, like ancient Egypt, they had mystery schools and schools that you went to that taught you how to hone in your psychic abilities. And that's really what we're missing in today's society, is that there's no schools, there's no place that you can go to learn your psychic abilities and to learn what your true nature actually is. I mean, the self-actualized human is an incredible being. It's an incredible thing, the self-actualized human. And the more that I'm working on myself and bringing myself into that space, I'm really able to see how amazing we actually are. Like we actually are amazing. We actually are becoming self-actualized. And I mean, knowledge is really the first part, the laying the foundation. That's why getting the knowledge is so important, especially when you're starting off. And then the second layer to that will be knowledge in action, or actually applied knowledge. So you're going to want to start applying the knowledge. That way that you can start to understand yourself and what you are on a multidimensional level, and start understanding the multidimensional reality. So the multidimensional reality is really like layers to an onion. And if you did read my blog post, I spoke about how I'm coming to a space now that I can perceive multiple layers of reality simultaneously. And hey, Red Man. So a lot of us can perceive, I'm beginning to perceive multiple layers of reality simultaneously, and it starts to all make sense because it's very holistic. Now, I mean, what they were doing on the lecture circuit with when they really first started in the early '90s with Bobby Hemmett and all the beautiful beings and teachers that came out of that time, they were actually really teaching the science of melanin. And as much as science doesn't want to admit it, science cannot understand melanin. Melanin, there's pheomelanin, which is a weaker form, and that's usually found in like freckles or in people with reddish or blonde hair or light colored eyes. That's pheomelanin, so that's a little different. We're going to be really focusing on the eumelanin, and we're going to be focusing on the neuromelanin this evening. And the thing is that what we're not told is that every organ in your body is coated with melanin, not just your skin. And then one of the lies, and in my blog, I have 4 videos, scientific videos, some of the old lectures from back in the day that a lot of us didn't see. So definitely check out that blog post, because the reason why I put it's in the description for both of these videos. And I put it there because it's invaluable information, and it really expands on this topic beautifully. Now, melanin is in the entire body, and it's not just skin color. I mean, what good is melanin, right? Your cosmic intelligence, if you don't activate it. There's a couple things scientifically I want to speak on first. Melanin cannot be studied outside of the body. It can be observed, however. It's very, very difficult to synthesize melanin. And when, whether it be neuro or eumelanin, when scientists have tried to isolate certain chains and things within the molecule, every time they take it out of the body, it changes its cellular structure. So this is an intelligence that you have that works with your cosmic body. We are going to connect melanin today to dark matter. Dark matter is that thing that is within the entire universe, that is within everything that exists, that connects us all. Yet scientists cannot prove that it exists conclusively. They can only observe the effects of it. So this is a cosmic intelligence, and it's not something to be picked apart and studied. It's holistic. It's something that must be felt. So it must be felt. And I cannot stress that enough, which is why toning in your psychic abilities, getting into the practice of these things is really so important, because you'll never know how great you are and how self-actualized you can become and how much light you can actually bring to your DNA if you don't try. You'll never read minds. You'll never be able to tap into trauma. You'll never be able to clear trauma. You'll never understand how multidimensional your aura is. You'll never understand your energetic body. You'll never understand how many dimensions there are. You'll never understand the nature of the multiverse. You'll never understand parallel realities. You'll never understand the morphogenetic field. You'll never understand your role within the morphogenetic field. All things, by the way, which I cover in my master class that's starting September 1st. And you can pre-register for that on my website. The link is there. But, when they studied antimatter. Okay. So yes, melanin is conscious. Alchemy of Life says that exact same thing happened when CERN tried to study antimatter. Exactly. Antimatter and dark matter are probably the same thing. And these experiments really give a lot of insight into the body. Now, one thing I connected in my blog post was that I was contemplating on the hermetic laws. And the hermetic laws are as within, so without, right? That's one of the hermetic laws. So as I was contemplating on the hermetic law and this principle that a lot of us that are occultists and alchemists and spiritualists understand intimately, and we actually use in our daily lives, I started thinking to myself, the cosmic level, which I just explained to you, of the dark matter, right? And what is this dark matter thing? And then I started thinking, okay, well, as within, so without. So if there's something in the universe that will not allow itself to be studied, then there must be something within our bodies that will not allow itself to be studied. So that's really how I came to the conclusion that, like and like are the same in this case. And that's really how my mind connected these dots. Okay, so let's talk about intuition, and let's talk about how to get some of these psychic abilities to start coming online, because all this is interconnected. And the reason why it's so important to understand the role of melanin in the body, and the reason why it's so important to understand the multidimensional layers of reality like this, is because, hello, Albert, thank you for joining us, is because you really want to understand what's going on in your world. Everything that is existing outside of you is conversely existing inside of you. If you have a thought about something, then somewhere it must exist. Otherwise, there is no thinking of the things that don't exist. Like you wouldn't think of something that doesn't exist. By the nature of your thought, it exists. And now the morphogenetic field in this respect is very interesting to me, and which is why I've done so much research and study on the morphogenetic field, because essentially it's very similar to melanin, except scientists really haven't taken it beyond Earth just yet. So I'm sort of waiting for them to catch up. Um, Albert, you got to do a little more research. Melanin is in every organ in the body, and it actually is produced in your pineal gland, which is why we need to stay away from fluoride and purify our water, because the pineal gland is what produces the melanin. And simply your skin is simply there really in your eyes to absorb the light codes from the sun, and then that actually helps to boost the melanin production. Also, going to sleep at a decent time helps to boost your melanin production. Check out my blog posts, watch the videos, get the information. Like, you guys deserve to be self-actualized. You don't deserve to live a reality where you watch all these superhero movies, you watch all these movies and stuff where these beings are doing these amazing things, and then you never actually get to see the amazing being that you are and the amazing things that you can do. You deserve really to come full force into your godhood. And that's what this is really all about, is teaching individuals. And I don't care what skin color you are. Skin is not indicative of anything really to me personally, because as I've gone further and further on my path, I start to see past the skin, and I actually see the soul. And I've seen people from all walks of life walking. And when they do, because there are certain beings that do not have souls, but when they do have a soul, and you'll see the entities that are jumping in and out of their body using their vehicle. Now, when you can look at certain beings and you see the light just shooting out the top of their head, I don't care what color they are. You can't tell me that they don't have a soul when I can see their light. It's not about that. And then even those who don't have a soul, when they can learn to rise the kundalini up to their heart chakra and begin to open their heart, they can earn a soul. So our great mother is very wise in that she offers a path to everyone, because this reality is all encompassing, and we are here as individual gods who came from source to assist each other on our paths, so that we can become greater beings together. You know what I mean? That each one teach one is real, except it's been misused. Yeah. And if you need help, Albert, tuning those, definitely hit the link in either pre-register for my masterclass, or just put the deposit down, but leave your email. And because I'm starting September 1st, and we are going like way fucking deep. I'm taking this shit to a whole new level so that I can start to actually teach people to do what I've done and be even greater than I am. I want you to be better than me. And that's what this is for. This is really the return of the gods. This class was designed to really get people to tap back in to their own divinity and godhood, and in a grounded way. It's not all fucking like out there. This is very grounded. So that's what I'm really going to be doing, and this is what I'm passionate about. It's worked for me. Have Paige, can you get the door for him? Okay, that was my brother. So the whole thing really is to begin to tap into your cosmic body and figure out how everything works. You can channel. You don't have to channel unconsciously, because there's different forms of channeling, and I'm going to go through that actually too. There's different forms of meditation. There's different forms of you can interact with that just through meditation. So Albert asked a good question. Let me go over it with you guys. Can you interact with souls who have crossed over, passed away in your cosmic body? You can do that in your physical body. You just have to raise your vibration. I mean, I've had souls come in during my client sessions, and I'm talking to people's ancestors, and I'm like, did you have a grandfather that passed away that looked like that and wore this or smelled like this or whatever? And they're like, yeah, how did you know that? And I'm like, well, he's here, and he just wanted me to tell you this. So that's what I mean by it's not a separatist thing where some people have this ability and some people have this ability and some people have this ability. Everybody has every ability. It's just that as you learn to tune one ability and as you raise your frequency, the other abilities begin to come online. And melanin has a lot to do with this. And as you really start, especially when you start to tap into that neuromelanin, I mean, when I'm in meditation, my third eye and my crown are crazy strong. I can feel every single chakra, but those have to be my strongest too, for real. I'm just not even. So this is really what I'm meant to be doing. And that's the activation that you need daily. And you can manipulate anything in your reality and use it to your benefit. Another really good tip to start activating your cosmic body is to begin to practice non-judgment, even with the self, and to begin to gain as many perspectives as possible. The more perspectives that you have when you're using non-judgment, the more powerful you become as a God being. I cannot say this enough. I cannot stress it enough. It's very important. The more you can understand and be understanding and understand things from different perspectives and angles, every angle is an angel. It's different angles of light that you're getting. So it's very important to view things from different perspectives. Some of the abilities that I have cultivated, I've never even heard of, and I've had to actually give them names because they didn't exist. They didn't exist, or they didn't reemerge, because they probably existed way back when, but people lost the ability to do this, but they've reemerged. For example, remote viewing the subconscious mind. And I'm not going to explain to you here what it is. It's something you must experience. If you'd like to learn about it, take the class. So that gives me the ability to be able to see into somebody else's reality from their perspective and pick up on frequencies and vibrations that otherwise would be missed out on. It has to do with melanin once again. That's how important your melanin actually is. All right, so if anyone has questions over here, just type them in. And I'm going to read the questions I have on the side. Can you interact with souls? Yes, you can. Energy state. Okay, so you, Albert, you need to work on grounding. And you need to work more on your grounding. And you need to learn, you're escaping your body because you don't know how to use your body. Like, you don't know how to use your cosmic vehicle. You don't know how to tune your chakras. And you should actually hit me up for a chakra reading, because there probably is a lot of trauma and congestion in some of your chakras that we can then clear. And that's what I do with my clients. I clear their chakras. I've done distance energy work on the spot, completely random, like made up on the spot, channeled from source. And you know what? It worked because I trust my higher self. I don't need to know something to know that I know what I'm doing. I have an ancient soul, and most of you do too. And that's the whole thing that everybody's missing, is that why are you so caught up on what you know or don't know. When your soul is ancient, the knowledge is already there, and when you need it, it will emerge. The knowledge is already there, and when you need it, you will emerge. And let your curiosity guide you. Alchemy, did you have any questions, beloved? Because I know you're super engaged, so this will be pretty fun. I'm pretty sure you got some interesting ones for me. Okay, so I got really passionate there. So, this is why practices like Qigong, understanding your energetic channels in your body, understanding the different forms of meditation. There's not only one form of meditation, sitting down and although that does tune you, that's not the only form of meditation. There's many different forms, and we go through that in my class. And there's just so much more going on than what you actually realize. No, I haven't heard of that, but I will check it out. Well, your sister's not coming through right now. Oh, hey, Deja. Peace to you, my love. Oh my God, I have to block somebody else. I don't know what's with everybody trying to date me, guys. I have a boyfriend. Chill out. Like, leave me alone. And Deja could tell you about my skills. She knows. So yeah, the whole thing is really that we want to be as engaged as possible with our spiritual growth. Guys, I've had so much healing. Thank you. I've had so much healing where I really went into the nuances of trauma, and even trauma from past lives. I went as far back as remembering, and my memories were blocked for years because I had gone through such traumatic experiences as a child, to where I actually was able to unblock trauma from just a couple of months old. And thinking about it now still makes me kind of sad, because to think that I was an innocent baby and people still took advantage of my light. And that's happened to a lot of us, and we didn't deserve it. And you gotta let go of the shame and the guilt, because you didn't deserve that. And things that happened to you when you were a kid, even something as nuanced as a response that you have to money based on how your mother would speak to you. Because you have to understand that it's not only how somebody is projecting or choosing to speak to you, it's also how we are, through our own filters, receiving the information. This is why perspective matters, and it's so important. Because once we understand how another individual receives information, then we can understand how we need to adjust in order to give the information to them. It makes a huge difference. Perspective is everything. That's why I said perspective. The more perspectives you have, the more you become a God being. And it's really a practice in putting off your personality or your ego for a little bit. Not that that's a bad thing, because you have to have an ego to have an individual experience. Nothing wrong with that. It's just about balancing it out. Okay, so another thing is that what was I going to go into? Now I lost my train of thought. Okay, let's read this. Okay. A gem-shaped pink intelligence while out of body. And hey, oh, I appreciate you, Antonio. Could see two floating within crescent ornate, crucifix at river. That's very interesting. That sounds like you need to decode that. That sounds like you need to decode that. Understand, you know what you do when you're in that state? Start asking questions to the intelligences that you come across. Albert, and that's going to help you decipher what's going on in your reality, because you are obviously having some major activations right now. And I applaud you for diving deeper into them and understanding that even though things in society would tell you that that's not real or it's just a dream or whatever, you're following your soul, and you know that your soul's not wrong. So that's part of self-empowerment, is really following your soul and following your truth. And it's like these little breadcrumbs that it leaves you. And you follow the breadcrumbs. And no matter what anybody says, you believe in yourself. That is so important. It's so important. Some of us need to change environments to fully heal. Yes. Alchemy, I agree with you. But the whole thing is that you have to start changing your internal environment to start changing your external environment. And also, too, when those around you actually are vibrating at a lower frequency, that means that you actually can set the frequency in the household that you are in and make everybody else around you align to your frequency, and they will start responding differently from you. But you are choosing to be a god, so then it is your responsibility to hold the higher vibrational frequency, and they are going to fight you. They are going to test you. That is what they are supposed to do, because it's like, how bad do you want it? If nothing came up in life, if everything was easy and nothing ever came against you, you would never understand how badly you wanted the change, how badly you wanted the activations, how badly you wanted to understand yourself. I care about nothing else. This is my purpose. I care about me getting to a space that I am the complete self-actualized being, not a woman, not a man, a being of light, a being of power, a being of ability, where there is no separation, where I can go and do and be anything. That is how dedicated. You have to be so dedicated that anything that would come up against you would have to fall. It has to all bow down to your will. And the will is not, it has to come from within your soul. That's how you know that it's your purpose and that it's in complete alignment. If you're not following your soul, you are not following your purpose, you will not be in alignment, and you will not have the energy that it truly takes to make what you want a real thing for you. Because even if we go back into the field, and even if we go back, we can go into we can go into science with it. In the field, say the morphogenetic field for now, just let's deal with Earth. All potential exists already. Choice is what makes it real. So you have to understand that your soul is the space between the beat. Your soul is the pause in a cosmic song. Your soul is the silence within the silence. It is something so sublime and mysterious that many of us can, and we do, spend many lifetimes just wanting to understand our souls. But it is so much more satisfying when we want to help others do that too. I just want you guys to understand your souls and become self-empowered, because I know how damn good it feels. That's it. That's what this is about. Awesome. Well, the thing, Albert, is even though melanin looks dark in this dimension, in higher dimensions, melanin is actually a high energy light. So when you start to raise your frequency and bring your chi and everything to a level that you can actually begin to like, you have to learn to even talk to all your cells and control all the cells in your body. I mean, that's how intricate this gets. So you start with little pieces. Maybe you just talk to your toe for a week. And then maybe next week you'll talk to this one string of hair right here. And then maybe another week you might talk to your fingernails and just check out how they're doing. But it's just the way you may go outside and speak to, hey sweetie, how are you? How did that situation go for you? You doing okay? And so even though it sounds, I mean, those fucking new agers, man, they fucked everything up because they don't actually understand the metaphysics behind it. So they're like, love and light, love and light. And it's like, no, love is light. It's not love and light, stupid. It's love is light. You know? And it's so funny because even when a lot of people go into Aleister Crowley's work, I'm happy to hear that, sweetheart, that you're doing good. That makes me happy. They say, oh, do as thou wilt. No one ever talks about the part where it says love is the whole of the law. Do as thou wilt. So, apparently dark side is really the light side, and things got fucked up somewhere in the middle. But apparently the dark side and the light side are like, the same side. I just find it so funny how all that stuff interconnects. Actually, the light side these days, these people are so, he knew. He sure did, but nobody reads the full quotes and the full, pages. I mean, I barely read that stuff. I just look shit up because I want to know what the full quote is. I do a Google search on little things like that. Other things, I need to actually look up actual science and research papers, and I need the books, and I need, videos and things from like really good sources, because I understand that I need I need real information, of information that people accept. If it's some information that's coming from my soul or coming from a channel, then I will say that this is my interpretation based on this channel that I got. Now my channels are accurate. So far, even if I meet a random person in the street and I give them a channel, it hasn't been inaccurate. And it's only because I trust myself. You know what I mean? Trusting yourself and trusting what's coming into your mind is really everything when you're doing work like this. And I call the type of channeling I do, because I'm not unconscious. I had to come up with a new name for it. I call it higher self channeling. So, and I think really all channels are doing that to some extent, because even for them to be in communication with that deity that they're working with, it has to be an aspect of themselves. But because I'm so in tune with my higher self, and I always caught my spiritual information through channels. I started by actually writing, and then as I progressed, I can just sit here and channel. Started writing using cards. I always use oracle cards. I was always a channel. Or an oracle. But that sounds like way too much for me. Well, Albert, you haven't felt bliss yet then. I have. And bliss feels like, that's really us in our God state. Bliss, how can I explain it? It's indescribable. That's why they call it bliss. Bliss is one of the highest frequencies you will actually come across. Bliss is a oneness. So then why are you so worried about that? The whole thing is that once you feel bliss, it doesn't mean that you don't have to be out of alignment and out of a state of, let's go a step down to joy in order to have a good reality. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, exactly, that's it. Like, you don't need to, right? You don't need to like fall out of bliss in order to understand your reality. It doesn't have to be a struggle like that. You can be in bliss even in anger, and the bliss will actually, well, it depends. If it's righteous indignation, I hope you guys never ever do something to an innocent person in front of me. That's all I gotta say. Geez, they were the highest and the lowest of people in their societies. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you don't have to fall out of a state of bliss ever. And you know what? Sometimes just anger and bliss. Yeah. I call it righteous indignation because I mean, you know, I got a shamanic side, so I do a lot of warrior things in the astral realm, especially if I'm working with a client and we have to actually do an entity, and they have a spirit, like an entity attached to them. So we have to do either a cord cutting, or sometimes it might come up in an intuitive reading and I have to start like actually chanting and speaking the spirit off of them. And then I have to fight. And even in a cord cutting, a lot of times I have to fight in the astral realm as I'm doing the cord cutting. So I need to be conscious of both realities at the same time. So that's how that goes, is that, and that's what I mean by how you can perceive when you start to get to a, I do go out of body, but not often because I don't like have to. I can pull myself out of my body. I just don't care about it enough, honestly, because I don't need to go out of my body. Everything is happening within and without all at the same time for me. I can perceive a lot of different realities and operate within them at the same time. Oh, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you coming through and leaving a donation on my Cash App. That really helps to keep the channel going. What's an exotic occurrence? I don't know what you mean by exotic occurrence. All right, just hit me up for at least a consultation, because we gotta work with you. We gotta get some questions answered over here, Albert. I have to get into, now see that thing, I have to actually get into the state of consciousness, because that could be a certain light frequency that you were understanding. Okay. Sorry guys, a lot of people are asking questions on YouTube now. Hey Empress, how does one develop spiritual mental gifts? Okay, so I typically will tell people exactly, Alchemy of Life said meditation. What you do is when you wake up in the morning, do a 10-minute meditation. Use singing bowls, make sure you're cleansing your aura. I mean, there's a number of different things you can do to start bringing those gifts online. And you want to be drinking clean water also. Get some Shignite, crunch it up, and put it in the bottom of a container of water, like I do. Give me the water. I'm gonna show them it so they can see it. I'm gonna show you guys my water. Is it over there? Oh, I have it here. Oh, I'm so dumb. All right, so this is like this, for example. This is pure carbon, and since your body is made of carbon, carbon is a form of melanin, so this is going to be healthy for you. Or you can get diodes, and that's really going to make a difference for you also. I don't really give a shit about my diet, but I do fast fairly consistently. So like, they're not dark entities. It's just they're, a lot of the entities that are lower vibrating or that are vibrating out of alignment are actually entities that we create as children. So you don't battle a dark entity. I am a dark entity. Do you understand? I dance with dragons. Do you understand? Like it's a whole nother thing. No, it's not a subconscious imagination or visualization. It's me having the ability to perceive the energy frequency in that dimension, yet be conscious in this dimension. So it's we got to really work on your perception a little bit. I think once you get it where it's supposed to be, you're going to be like good to go, honestly. Yeah, we'll work on it, Albert. Just hit me up. Let me actually, you know what? Let me see. I'll just put my email in the chat because it'll just make it easier for you guys. bell.info@gmail.com. There. So if anyone needs a session, if you guys need anything, if you want to take the soul work course and tap back into that ancient information, you can just hit me there, or you can just hit up my website. It's either or is cool. All right, guys. So I'm going to end the live stream here. This was amazing. This was my first time going live on YouTube, and this was like a lot of fucking fun. So I think I'm actually going to do this a lot more often. Charcoals. I never thought of that. That is so, Redman, that is a good freaking idea to put charcoals also. So thank you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for the donations. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for thank you most of all for being engaged in the message, because it's not about me. It's about the message. And thank you most of all for caring about yourself enough to actually be engaged in your spiritual growth and on your path and bringing the light to your soul. I care about these things. So as usual, I love you guys. And bye, Deasia. Yeah, finally. I'm telling you, I think I'm gonna go live on YouTube more because I really didn't know that it would be like this fun. Absolutely, absolutely. We'll be doing a lot more of this. All right, bye guys.